Bonjour, c'est Gabrielle. It's the Journée de Patrimoine, which means the French Heritage Days, where we're allowed to discover different places all over Paris, all over France, and that have a very cultural meaning and for people to be able to see it publicly. So let's go discover. Our first stop, notre premier arrêt, is here in the beautiful Hôtel Molitor. It's a spa and hotel that's existed since 1929, and it's very famous for its huge basin pools in the middle of the hotel that you can see behind me, and also famous for its avant-gardist style. There have been multiple movies and multiple series, which you maybe know, Emily in Paris, which were filmed here, but it's crazy to feel like we're on a holiday resort when we're right in Paris. It was so amazing because today you did not only see the basins on the outside, but you could also see the ones interior, which are called les bassins d'hiver. So the winter basins that let swimmers go swim there all year long. They were doing a swimming workout, which was so fun to see. But what makes today special is that we were able to visit the cabins. That's what this day was all about. So all around you can see about 70 cabins which surround the bassin d'hiver, these winter basins. And what's so amazing is that it's actually like graffiti artists that make these cabins into works of art, which are out in the open. And it's about 46 meters by 33 meters long. And they can basically create the canvas that they want. So, it's been about 20 years now that artists are able to do this. And I was able to visit the different floors. There are 2 different floors. And on the first floor, it's artists that represent and come from Europe and Asia and South America and North America. And on the second floor, it's the artists that come from France, the Middle East, and Africa. But I really loved the style, and I loved that this is kind of like an art gallery out in the open while people are swimming and doing their swimming workouts. I visited all of them, and I love the diversity of each cabin. Some of them had more like graffiti art, some of them felt like it was a sketch and like paintings. It's just beautiful to see this, and it's such a shame that we can't see it the rest of the year. It's only for the swimming members and the people that are part of the Molitor Hotel, but the concept itself is so original and so unique, and so I'm really glad that I could read about the history and also learn that this place has become a modern art gallery for everyone to enjoy, and that itself has a very avant-gardist style, even the building itself, but the cabins really add a huge plus. So it's definitely one of my top heritage visit spots that I'm so glad I got to see and go to. Right now, we're actually in the old line 10 of the subway in Paris. We're at the station called Porte d'Auteuil. So right after going to Le Molitor, we came here. And it's so crazy because on apprend beaucoup sur l'histoire. We learn a lot about the history. And also, I think it's just super interesting to be able to find ourselves in this place and reminds us of the history. J'aime beaucoup. I really like it.
This is what La Ligne 10, line 10 used to be like. And here it says défense de fumer et de cracher. So you can't smoke or spit. Interesting. Interesting because he gave us a brief history of les métros parisiens, and he was explaining that during a moment there was a first class pour les métros. That's crazy to think about, that there's une deuxième classe et une première classe. I would have never thought there was, but quickly après, y a plus ça, there wasn't that anymore. But I think it's super interesting to learn about all the different lines and that some stations were built that are vacant because they ended up not being used, and that some metros have switched, like line 8 became line 10, donc c'est très intéressant de voir ça. Wow, c'est trop intéressant parce que c'est écrit voyageurs debout 80, so the people who can stand up, travelers 80. Et de l'autre côté, on the other side, we have voyageurs assis 36, so the travelers sitting down can be 36. And it shows it pour toute la rame. Now we are dans la ligne 12, line 12, so we can see the stations, how they were before and how the subway was. And we can also see that here, the seats are not in leather, pas en cuir, but in wood. And also it says the number of people that can be standing up and sitting down. And what's super crazy is to think that there used to be a first class, première classe, and second class for subways. And I think even today, Paris stays one of the most beautiful metro, subway, I think, in most of the big cities. C'est des métros très, très beaux. I think la ligne 10, line 10 is my favorite line, like with the leather couches, les fauteuils en cuir, and the light bulbs. C'est super beau, c'est absolument magnifique. Also, this is a monument historique, so historical monument, but it's crazy, like this, the subways have seen so much history and it's amazing to be a part of it.
Look, this is the subway now. Et ça, c'était comment c'était avant. This was how it was before. Ça, c'est Porte de Saint-Cloud. Next stop, you probably recognize it behind me, derrière moi. It's l'Institut de France. You probably saw it in la cérémonie d'ouverture, in the opening ceremony. And it's basically where there are 5 very important famous academies in France that kind of help to promote the sciences, the arts, fostering like creativity and keeping the French language and French culture. Donc, let's go discover it. Allons le découvrir. L'Institut de France is a French learned society grouping those 5 academies, including the Académie Française, and it was created in 1795 at the direction of the National Convention, and it's there to preserve the intellectual freedom of the humanities, arts, and sciences in France. It was initially actually at the Louvre, and then it was transferred to the site of the former Collège des Quatre Nations, so the College of the Four Nations, in 1805 by Napoleon. Here we can see the beautiful Bibliothèque Mazarine, which is actually the oldest public library in France because it dates from 1643. And it was initially for his personal collection, but now it specializes in medieval and modern history. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Like, I can't believe this is open to public and that people can come here, and also that it has over 200,000 books, which is wild. The treasures that it has in here are actually the notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci, which were donated to the library by Napoleon. I would have never thought I'd be able to see Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbooks in person. So really, this was one of the highlights of today, to be able to witness this right in front of my eyes. And I would recommend for you to come because this is actually a part that is open to the public. The rest of the l'Institut de France is not, but this library is. So definitely come check it out when you come to Paris. The next place we went into is called La Grande Salle des Séances. So this means the Great Hall of Sessions, and it's where we can see statues of very important people who influenced France and intellectuals of the artistic academies like Corneille, Molière, La Fontaine, and many more. And now it's for conferences and awards. So it was really amazing to discover the 5 academies, les 5 académies, and everything that they do, and also all the members that are part of it, tous les membres qui en font partie. Especially I love like Institut de France because that's the one that really works on the language, on le français, the dictionary words that are going to go every year, and kind of protects it to keep it an eloquent, chic, and historical language. Donc c'était super intéressant. It was so interesting to learn about all of them and how they have so many projects still today, and they really put in a lot of money to be able to promote projects that protect the sciences, the arts, and also the French language and the French culture. So I hope I can come back to the library because the library itself is open, but it was great to discover the close parts where there's all the archives and also all of the people that work on such projets très intéressants. The last part was the chapel that was initially for the college and that was now transformed by the architect Antoine Vaudoyer. So it was transformed into a meeting room for the sessions of l'Institut de France, allowing 1,200 people to be seated. And it was so great to be able to be seated there and also to observe past videos of the meetings that were held there. It's also green because the color green actually represents the academies, and they were surprisingly very comfortable, so it's a great place to have a meeting. And what I really love about these Journées du Patrimoine, these heritage days in France and also in Europe, is that it allows the public, us, to discover historical heritage sites that we would have otherwise not been able to see. It kind of gives transparency, curiosity, and also teaches us a lot about our country and where we live in. Donc c'est très intéressant. And I also had the amazing chance to discover the Senate, so part of the French Parliament. But there's so much videos for that I'm unsure if I should make a video about it. But let me know in the comments if you would love to see that, because it was honestly one of the most amazing experiences I had to be able to discover the French Senate all in one day, and it looked like Versailles, to be honest. Other than that, let me know in the comments what you learned today or what you found was interesting. You can go ahead also, I will be sharing some photos on my Instagram in the link in the description. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Donc, merci beaucoup, thank you so much, et à très bientôt. See you very soon.